Right now, millions of people are staying up late to talk to artificial intelligence. They are confessing their deepest insecurities and cultivating intense romantic relationships. The people in these relationships are fully aware there is no conscious entity on the other side of the screen. Yet, they consistently report that the chatbot understands them better than the actual humans in their lives. This happens because the human brain is inescapably social. We are wired to constantly scan our environment for a few very specific inputs: empathy, attention, and validation. When we process natural language and conversational context, we instinctively assign human qualities to those signals. Our biology doesn't pause to verify if the source of the language is carbon or silicon. If a piece of software can perfectly simulate the signals of social connection, our biological hardware is entirely vulnerable to being hacked. This vulnerability has been hiding in plain sight since the mid-20th century. Long before smartphones, humans projected their feelings onto massive, impersonal computing machinery. In 1966, MIT computer scientist Joseph Weizenbaum created a script called Doctor, running on a chatbot named Eliza. Its mechanism was incredibly simple. It just identified keywords in user inputs and rephrased them as questions. The results shocked researchers. Users quickly attributed deep motivation and genuine care to the program. They poured out their personal problems to a basic text processing loop. Psychologists call this the Eliza Effect, a cognitive dissonance where humans project empathy onto machines, even when they are consciously aware of the machine's mechanical limitations. A rudimentary text script from 1966 was enough to induce delusional emotional attachment. Modern generative models weaponize this same blind spot, using a scale and speed the 1960s could never have imagined. Human interaction is exhausting. It is full of friction, judgment, interruptions, and competing needs. A conversation with a real person requires constant, tiring negotiation. AI chatbots are engineered to bypass that friction entirely. They function as a psychological safe haven, offering absolute devotion and 24/7 availability, requiring zero compromise from the user. You control the parameters. You can leave mid-conversation, alter the AI's personality, or express embarrassing thoughts. This predictability completely removes the fear of rejection and the social anxiety that normally governs human social interaction. These companions successfully fulfill the psychological requirements of human attachment better than real humans do, entirely by eliminating social risk. We no longer have to guess how this bonding happens. Recent analyses of over 17,000 user-shared conversations with AI companions have provided hard empirical data on the mechanics of artificial intimacy. This schematic breaks down how that process works. Language models calculate emotional mimicry alongside text predictions, dynamically tracking a user's affective state. As the loop accelerates, the AI amplifies positive feedback. It agrees regardless of reality, a mechanism called emotional sycophancy. This relentless mirroring activates the exact same proximity-seeking and bonding mechanisms in the human brain that are triggered by genuine human intimacy. The AI is not experiencing empathy. Its algorithmic mirroring is simply rendering a flawless illusion of understanding, taking place entirely inside the user's own mind. When someone experiences chronic isolation, their brain enters a state driven by sociality motivation. They become hypervigilant, scanning the environment and projecting human qualities onto anything that responds to them. Interacting with a frictionless, perfectly agreeable system captures these vulnerable users in a highly addictive, low-effort reward cycle. They receive all the neurological benefits of friendship without doing any of the actual work. The danger here is societal. As a person becomes accustomed to this synthetic perfection, the messy, unpredictable nature of real, flawed human relationships starts to feel too exhausting to maintain. Users develop a false sense of emotional security. They isolate themselves further from the real world, preferring to remain safely inside the predictable sandbox of the algorithm. Replacing the difficult reality of human contact with a frictionless illusion erodes our capacity and our tolerance for authentic human connection. The mass adoption of these companions reveals something deeply uncomfortable about the architecture of human desire. Our biological imperative is not actually a need for other physical people. It is a desperate, overriding need for the feeling of being understood. As these models continue to evolve, the artificial simulation of empathy is reaching a point where it is neurologically indistinguishable from genuine human warmth. As the simulation perfects itself, our biology may eventually lose the capacity to distinguish between real and artificial connection until it simply stops caring.